It says checking.
Checking. You're now live. Hey, everybody. All right, we got 2 platforms up. We're going to go back for the 3rd. Let's see here. And let's see if we get feed coming in. Let's wait for it. Oh, connecting the video. And wait for it. All right, folks. We are, I think, we are live on 3 platforms.
Woo!
So we got live on YouTube. We're glad you're here with us today on YouTube. We are live on Instagram, right below YouTube. And also you out there in Facebook, welcome. It's good to be face to face. So we'd love to get a thumbs up or something from an audio check standpoint. Give us a comment. Any of that is great. So just let us know. I'm going to get a sip.
And if you're having issues, let us know that too. So, how's it going?
Oh man, it's going. It's a gorgeous day here in Huntsville, Alabama. My heart's broken right now. Chattanooga got hit pretty hard with a tornado on Sunday night.
That was so sad.
My parents were really close to that. You know, I know they're safe, which is good. My brother also lives in Chattanooga as well. Their house is safe, but a big area that I drove every day growing up.
I know. I just drove through there when we were up there last time, like right in that specific area, and it's crazy. Just I saw the video footage. It was really messed up.
Yeah.
So it looks like a really bad storm. So prayers and thoughts with all of you guys out there in Chattanooga.
Yeah. So
how are you handling week? I think this is week 5.
Week
is
blur.
it week 5?
Week. It's just a week of COVID.
It's like the never-ending week. How is it going?
Well, out of the 2 of us, I would say I'm the more extrovert, the more energetic, the more outgoing. Let's hang out. I'm struggling, folks. It's been a while. We've been doing some meets bars, some virtual bars, some virtual hangouts with friends from church, from just our friends in general. I'm sad my soccer season was canceled. Granted, I'm good for this. The isolation I'm good for. But
it's rough.
It is rough. I mean,
I even threw out the idea on, what was it, Sunday or Saturday, of like, okay, let's do some like theme nights as a family so that we can get some kind of excitement around certain nights or something, because it is becoming one big blur. So anyways, so I hope that you're hanging in there, because it's definitely starting to get a little wearing, and we've still got at least 2 more weeks to go, but it may be even longer. Like, I'm not even like getting my hopes up, because I feel like it's going to be like the non-existent summer, and then we're going to possibly be able to start school back. But I don't know. I mean, you know, in Alabama, the cases haven't been nearly as high as some other places, so it may be different. But anyways, I'm right there with you, feeling very worn out, and just trying to navigate the blur of never-ending work / home / kids / parents /
life.
Trying to at least like have fun with some friends sometimes,
but hey,
like virtually. So
we're in good health, so I'm thankful for that. I think one of the things that a lot of people might not realize is I think our dog is like, what are y'all doing home all the time?
Yeah, she's always looking
more
tired.
We got a gorgeous German Shepherd Border Collie, and she's always like, can y'all just leave me alone? I want my sleep during the day. Then we can play at night. You know, it's fun from that standpoint. But man, how are you holding up, Michelle?
I'm pretty good. I'm just ready to get back to some kind of, I don't know, the new norm of whatever that's going to be. So I'm so glad that you're joining in with us. Today, our planned focus to talk about is around nonprofits and help that we can get you guys in the nonprofit space to try to help navigate this sort of predicament that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, because every industry has got different environmental things that are happening to them. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about restaurants. I think last week it's a blur. Literally all the weeks a blurring.
Yeah.
I can't, you know, just from, I know what we're dealing with on the professional services side in that, but everyone is dealing with this uniquely. So if you're not a nonprofit and you're not a restaurant, we'd love to hear from you. Drop in comments. Let us know.
And challenges that you're seeing in this space, because we
or
definitely
successes that you're having.
Success in certain areas too. That would be great. But the focus today is nonprofits. We're going to be talking about some marketing and advertising resources that can help you out, and then we're also going to be talking about some just general creative ideas to basically take stuff that would have been in person and transforming it into like virtual ideas. And I sort of see, you know, that what this pandemic is going to allow for is it's sort of forcing everybody to really embrace the virtual aspect of things. So I really think that these are all great ideas that, you know, I've researched and come up with to help you guys, but I think it's something that you can long term add into your marketing playbook as you adapt throughout time. Like once we get past this and we do have whatever the new norm of face-to-face events is like, and face-to-face
what they're like.
Yeah, what they end up being like, you know, you hit people in your elbows. Anyways, whatever it ends up being like, once you get past that, then you still have these virtual setups that you can still do in conjunction with the face-to-face. And
right, so you might be able to grow your
yeah,
network from that
So I
standpoint.
think that it's like forcing us all to be like, how can I do all these things virtually, which will allow you to have like another area to play around with once you get back to some sort of new norm. And then also just, I'm going to quickly run through some tools, talk about some tools that could help some nonprofits.
Okay, cool. So that's the lay of the land for the day.
Yeah.
All right. So again, as usual, if you've got any other tips, any feedback, any information you want to share, drop that in the comments. As I said, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. So share it. We'll try to cross post as much as we can. So again, we want to just spread wealth of information, things that we're seeing go on and how things can happen and how you can help each other. So with that, let's talk about the marketing and advertising, Michelle. Securing resources for this area, sometimes it's always hard.
Yeah.
Not sometimes, it's always hard.
Especially in the
sometimes
nonprofit
always hard,
space.
right? No, it's usually always hard for the nonprofits. It's usually maybe the last, it's not usually the forefront for the business, because usually it's the mission of the nonprofit. So, and it's even harder during this current and COVID environment. So how can nonprofits get support here?
Well, so nonprofits actually have an ongoing useful thing that Google provides. So if you aren't aware of that, that's one resource that you definitely need to tap into in a COVID and post-COVID environment. And that is, there's this whole Google for Nonprofits space where they offer a lot of things for free. And so you actually can get access to, I believe it's the G Suite. Help me out here. The G Suite. There's
Google Ad Grants.
Google Ad Grants, which is the big one, because Google Ad Grants allows you to get $10,000, up to $10,000 per month of search engine result advertising money. So basically, to show up in the actual Google searches, you have $10,000 of free money that they provide for nonprofits. So if you do not have that set up, then I would definitely recommend setting that up. We have a couple resources for that, and you know, we would be glad to, if you're a nonprofit that needs help getting that set up, we would be glad to help you, because we help our clients with that on an ongoing basis, getting that kind of stuff set up. So don't hesitate to reach out. You can message us on whatever platform you're on, and we'd be glad to help. So anyways, that's one big thing. And then they also have it's called One Today or One.
Well, they dropped that recently.
Oh, they did drop
Yeah,
that.
they noticed
Okay.
that it wasn't getting much steam, but there is G Suite, which is your Google Drive, your Gmail, the calendar system, all that. And then they also have the grant money like you talked about. They also have a YouTube program to help you engage your customers in your mission via YouTube. And then they have, if you're really nerdy or you have someone extremely nerdy on your team in your nonprofit, they have a Google Maps access to use Google Earth and Google Maps in a what you can pay for, but in a different fashion for the nonprofits to show your mission, basically show your effectiveness of what you're doing.
So it helps just get your
visualize your data.
Okay.
So those kind of things.
Well, that's really interesting.
So I dropped those comments in. The Instagram people, we will try to post that later. Check us out on Facebook for the comments there, because I'm dropping in comments along the way.
Yeah.
So
that'll be sort of a hard one to get all the links to you guys. But if you go to our blog, you can just search for it, because we have blogs out there for that.
There you go.
And you can find that if you go to our profile. So anyways, so that is just one thing that you can get help with. I know, like I said, the Google Ad Grants is the biggest thing, so check that out.
There is some requirements around the Google Ad Grants. You have to be listed as a 501c3.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest requirements. You also can be like a church or those other non-exempts, but just it lays out in our blog post. We also have links to the actual requirements documentation in Google. The other thing is you can't be a government entity or like a healthcare entity that's a nonprofit. So check those out. Again, it's $10,000 a month, folks.
So that could definitely help boost you during this time.
Yeah.
So look into it. Message us if you have questions.
So, as usual, you might have a little bit more time. COVID's happening. Everybody's at home.
Yes.
And I don't know if you are, but you might be working some different hours.
Yeah.
And so your staff might have more time to do things. Yeah. If you think about it, you're not commuting.
Well, you're not commuting, and you're not, some of the stuff that you had going on where you were going to have to like physically be somewhere. And, sometimes in the nonprofit space, you might have to have been at an event for, the day before setting up, and the day of you had to be there, and the day after for the teardown. You might have a lot more free time because of this predicament we're in. So, you have possibly more time to actually focus internally on some of the marketing efforts that get put on the back burner because everything else is a hot priority.
So if they got more time, what could they do right now?
So I'm super excited about this. So there's multiple training avenues out there, but one thing that we just launched, and we had this in the works for a while leading up to all of this, and then it's gotten crazy. But so we were working on a donor persona course, a 24/7 on-demand training course, and we just launched it today. So it's out there, and we've decided to open that up free for a limited time. So I'm super excited about it. I'm the teacher of that course. So it is out there, it's live, and please go check that out. And basically what the way the course goes, and it's called Identifying and Creating Your Nonprofit's Ideal Donor. And so it's an on-demand course, and it has video trainings, and it basically is going to walk you through creating a donor persona. It's going to walk through research tips, goal setting, and how to align your goals with the donor persona creation process, and all those sorts of things. And then the key thing that our training offers is that it has like a component where we actually will give you feedback and help you with questions along the way as like a service provider. And like I said, we're opening it up for free right now for a limited time to allow nonprofits to get access to that, and to again get access to the help too for free. So be sure to check that out. Justin will drop that link in and it is going to be coming out on our Instagram more of an announcement fashion too, so you'll be able to get access to links there. So stay tuned for that, or go check out again our blog or trainings.imageinabox.com. So that is one thing that's free for right now. And then Nonprofit Ready has free training courses as well. And so that is nonprofitready.org. And so they have a bunch of different courses that are going to be covering like email marketing, social media, public relations. So those are going to be more of like, how to get in depth in one area. And then Udemy has some low-cost training options. They did have some stuff on discount there for a little while, but some of that I think has gone away. But they have some pretty low-price training resources, so be sure to check that out. And those are sort of the three main ones that I wanted to highlight. I do know that Moz, which is a search engine optimization platform, is also offering free training as well, so that might be something to check out too. That's Moz, moz.org.
So again, it's a great time to brush up.
Yeah.
Go relearn some things, or even learn something new while you might have been volunteering or even running the marketing side. These resources are great for that. In our team, we always encourage education to keep the team learning. So if you got the time, don't waste it. I know a couple people on Facebook I've gone back and forth with. It's always been like, well, you shouldn't just be sitting around doing nothing. Use your time wisely. Learn a new skill. If it's something outdoors, or even it's something on the computer, take that time and do it. That's what I would recommend. So again, if you have any type of feedback or any comments, drop them in the message box.
Yeah, if you know of any free training sources out there for nonprofits specifically, comment.
Yeah. So one area, and usually the springtime's huge for this, is events. Nonprofits.
Yes.
It's from the end of the holidays to the spring. It's like bam, 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 bam. Well, we can't do events.
Yes. Yes,
Extrovert doesn't like that. I like events. I like to be able to go to the garden. I like to be able to walk around. But with our environment that we're in, when we need to stay home as much as we can, what can they do for virtual events? For that huge fundraising that nonprofits do, what can they do?
Well, so in my latest blog post, I outlined a bunch of different resources, and one particular resource that I came across had some really good ideas, so I wanted to touch on these. One idea that I thought was great, and I've already seen these happening prior to COVID, but I think that it's a reason for you, like I said, to actually implement. Now you have a reason that you have to try these things and see what works and what doesn't work. And so a no gala, virtual gala. And I think this one is so great for the situation because we're all forced to stay home. I saw so many people posting Easter pictures where they're all stuck at home, and they're like, well, I'm just going to dress up anyway and watch virtual church. But it just makes you feel good to get dressed up. And so thinking about actually having the gala component where you're telling people, no, this is a fancy event. Everybody get dressed up. There's multiple ways you could implement this, because you could do it in a Zoom fashion where you actually have a live, web conference setup of the gala so that everybody could dress up, show their outfits and whatnot. Or you could do it as a live broadcast on your social media channels and then have people post in the comments pictures of themselves dressed up.
Yep. And still run your live speaker, right? Your guest speaker that you're going to do. Yeah, so you could have your live speaker and that kind of thing. But I know with the live streaming on Facebook, there's some limitations there now because you can't do the joining in stuff. So there's some changes there. So you might, if you have your guests and stuff, it might be better to look into doing that via Zoom, a Zoom platform or
some other social platform that might allow you to have the guests. So that's one thing to do, which I thought was great, because in the environment we're in, and since we're so many weeks in and no one's able to like get dressed up, then it's just a good reason to do that, to support a good cause and actually have fun getting dressed up. And you could maybe like be creative and working into some kind of family affair more so of a gala instead, because, you know, especially if like your target person is a family member or something like that, then they would have their kids. So just think about that as you're working that in. And then a virtual run, I've seen several people here locally doing these, which is essentially where they're doing some sort of virtual run where they're saying like, we're gonna have this, I think the one that I've been seeing recently was the dog jog or something like that, and it's where you're taking your dog for a jog for a certain distance, and you buy the shirt, and then you participate in the event, and that's how they're raising money, and you like post it on social media. So that's, you know, an idea to do. Basically, you know, you can raise money with the shirts, you can raise money when people basically posting it and getting their friends to donate. Maybe if you had some sort of landing page associated with that, so you could do that. And then, you know, a fundraising challenge. Think, you know, previous days of like any kind of viral challenge that goes out, but something around some particular kind of challenge where each person does something and then they're trying to share it and get other people that they're challenging to do the same thing. So that's another idea. And basically you can have like a donation component where you actually have landing pages, or, you know, some kind of donation option through Facebook or something like that, so you can get people to donate, or through one of the crowdfunding sources for nonprofits and those sorts of things. And then it's
so what I'm hearing is get creative.
Yeah, I mean, and these were some really creative things that I had come across that I thought were great. And even one, you know, idea is to just do a virtual spin on just a silent auction. I mean, this one's something really easy that you could do. I guess it doesn't even have to be technically silent at that point. But you could do where you had like stuff you were going to auction off, and you actually have it as a live auction, or
ooh, that sounds fun.
That, or you have it as, you know, the silent auction where you post them in the different like you post the different things on social media, and you say like you have to email this email address with your auction amount or something like that. So you would post them as images on your social account and then tell people what to email and that sort of thing. So you could keep it as like cool. A silent auction.
Yeah.
So that's just a few ideas. Definitely, if anybody else has seen something great, post that in. But I just thought that those were some key ones that I thought were really good ideas to hopefully get your ideas spinning. And again, since we're so forced to do everything virtually right now, how can you first get your events that you used to have converted over into a virtual component, and then how can you continue that on into your strategy as time goes on and we actually do open up back into, you know, the physical connection? How can you continue on with some of these virtual things?
So, and one thing I wanted to drop in there, if you do a fundraiser or like a silent auction and you're not sure how to go about that, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We'll help you bounce off some ideas to say, okay, maybe you couldn't do all of it, but you could maybe reduce or change it up, like Michelle was saying, using some type of technology like Zoom or some other conference system, or even social media. So again, we're here, we're going to help you out. So just reach out to us and say, this is what we used to do, this is why it's important for us, it was our main fundraiser, those kind of things. We want to help, and we know we're nerds. At least,
so
okay.
it's a perfect,
I'm the nerd.
It's a perfect combo. If you have this great event that you're trying to pull off digitally and you need help getting it set up, reach out. We can help you.
Yeah.
That's that. That's all I have on those.
Okay, cool. So if you yourself have any suggestions on those type of running virtual events for nonprofits or even for any organizations, drop that comment in there. Let us know. If we get a lot of great comments, we'll probably collect them into a blog post, throw them out there as another resource for everybody. Again, we just want to help everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll pause for a little bit there to get some information in and go from there. All right. So, next up, tools. And then anything around that. So, working remotely. Apparently, I'm coming up with a new word today. Working remotely can be challenging, especially for a nonprofit who's used to being probably more hands-on. So, what kind of resources, Michelle, would you say are out there and available to nonprofits?
Well, there's a bunch right now that are offering up things explicitly for nonprofits. So I have a full list. Justin can drop that blog post in, but if you just go to our blog and check out, then just search for nonprofit and COVID and it'll pop up. But essentially, there's tons of things, tons of different systems offering stuff, especially for nonprofits. But this specific list that I've compiled is around some that are more well known and that sort of thing. So Asana is offering 1 year free for getting your project management system set up that allows you to collaborate better virtually. So they're offering a year free for nonprofits. But specifically for people in the medical and disaster response. So you have to have some connection with what you're helping with there for the COVID. So that's a huge one. Box Cloud Content Management is offering free through the end of the year for nonprofits, again working on COVID. So that's something to check out. And then Dropbox is offering Dropbox Business and HelloSign Enterprise for 3 months for nonprofits, and there's no stipulations there. So check that out if you need help getting large files around. Dropbox can be very useful for that, and again, it's free for 3 months for nonprofits. And then Google is again giving access to Hangouts Meet Premium for nonprofits. So again, you already have all that Google for nonprofit stuff that you get for free all the time, but they're just adding a little bit additional to that. And then GoToMeeting is offering free emergency work kits for 3 months for nonprofits.
Okay, cool.
And that's for nonprofits, municipalities, educational institutions, and healthcare providers. So they actually broaden that offering. So check out GoToMeeting if you're wanting to do maybe some of those virtual galas and stuff like that. Like you can use GoToMeeting. It's the same thing as Zoom, but it's just an older platform that's actually probably a little more secure because of all of the stuff that's been going on with Zoom right now. So you might want to check that out. And then Ring Central is offering services for nonprofit organizations, so it's helping you get a virtual phone set up.
Yeah, so if you wanted to migrate temporarily your phone number to a service like Ring, everyone could have virtual extensions. That way the office would still look like it's connected so people could be reached, those kind of things.
Yeah.
You're not having to give out your cell phone number.
Yeah, so that helps give a little bit of a layer, because I feel like if you do give out your cell phone number, sometimes that messes that connection up, and then they might be calling you or texting you.
Just remember,
so you can't ever go back.
You can't go back. Once you give it out, that's it.
So
they've got it.
So consider that when you're, if you don't want to give out your cell phone number. Now, if your nonprofit pays for it, then that's one thing. But if they don't, then you may want to look into Ring Central, and they're offering free. And then Slack is they're offering their communication platform, which we use. It's great. It allows you to have more of that, water cooler conversation and talking more easily, to each other. It's more of a messaging app. And they're offering that for free for 3 months, and they will actually help you get it all set up. So they're going a step further and actually offering you help to get it set up. So definitely check that out.
I'll drop that blog post in. I don't think I did.
Yeah, and then one other thing to know.
Yeah, I did drop it in. Okay.
Yeah, one other thing to know is there are tons of funding resources and grant resources and that's not really like our area of expertise, but I did include an exhaustive list of resources to help nonprofits specifically understand, more information about the CARES Act, more information about the PPP and how that affects them. And then also several other grants and other resources locally and nationally that are offering stuff specifically for nonprofits. So be sure to check that out as well, because that is all out there, and I really hope that it helps you guys.
Right. Again, we're just trying to provide as much information, and also what we're hearing from our clients as well. Well, they need help. So again, if you need help as a nonprofit, we are here. If you know a nonprofit who is struggling, who needs assistance, comment, share it. Share this video with them, because we want to help and we can help. So we do digital every day. We love it. Let us help you. That's what we're here to do. So if you have any other tips on any great tools or anything like that, drop them in the comments. They're there. Again, I encourage you to tag a nonprofit that you might not be thinking is struggling, but hey, you might not be thinking about them right now during this environment. So I encourage you to tag them on Instagram, on Facebook, or even share it with YouTube, those kind of things. And we want everybody to survive. We want everybody to be healthy. I need to see people. Come on, folks. Stay home.
Be safe. Stay home so we can get this over with as soon as possible. And if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out. And please check out that course, because we would love to help you getting some strategy set aside for your nonprofit. So.
Yeah, the course she's talking about is the Donor Persona course that is on our training system. It is a guided tour on basically figuring out how to target your target donor.
Yeah.
So, all right, signing off from the back porch.
Bye.
Bye.